Chapter 2. James sadly walked to his car after watching Elena disappear down the hallway, but he couldn't deny their connection and his absolute attraction to her. She still seemed way out of his league, but he nervously sent her a text before driving to his hotel. A minute passed, and then two. Without a response, he kicked himself for thinking he ever had a chance with her. Then his phone buzzed. Elena had texted back. His heart soared, and over the next few hours, they texted back and forth dozens of times. Back and forth and forth and back, just gyrating. He knew she was staying at a home in Tokerville, and he desperately wanted to drive there and whisk her back to the hotel for a night of reconnection and romance. He twice got redressed during the night to go see her, but the spirit gently said, "Have patience, everything will work out as it's supposed to." They finally stopped texting at around 4 a.m., and when he closed his eyes to sleep, he was taken again to their previous life together. The intense passion of their love-making was a sight to behold. He knew it would be difficult, but he could be patient if it meant that he could experience that type of love just once in his life. As he lay in the hotel bed, it was as if her spirit had joined him. They wrapped around each other, kissed gently, then intensely, and the emotions they shared were not of this world. They were out of this world. James woke up in the hotel room, feeling happier than he had in his entire life. It felt like he and Elena had fit together perfectly in every way. He rolled over to kiss her, and then reality struck. She was actually more than 20 miles away in Tokerville with her Arizona friends. He texted her. She quickly responded. He deeply regretted not going to be with her the night before. It was as if he already knew the taste of her lips, and his hands knew every curve of her body. He knows his dreams were somehow real and that they were actually traveling to each other in a higher dimension. Oh, Christians. Christianity. He hungered for her in the ways, what was it, preparing a people for the second coming of Christ. So that Vallow is actually, she's like one of the main generals. She's like one of the main, the Lord's Jesus Christ is like, she's like one of the main angels. She was going to organize the 144,000, the apocalypse. He packed his suitcase, began driving north on the freeway. Apparently she liked his books. He wrote some books, and as each mile passed, James could feel Elena's spirit beckoning for him to join her. As he approached the Tokerville exit, it took every ounce of willpower to keep driving on the freeway. His attraction to her was beyond magnetic. He felt their souls were two halves of an eternal union. Tears filled his eyes as he passed the freeway exit. He desperately yearned to embrace her and tell that he deeply loved. God, this motherfucker is horny as shit. I feel like, as crazy as that sounded, but he knew he would be seeing her 3 weeks later at a conference, and he was going to text her, and then he didn't text her, and then he was driving to her, and then he didn't drive to her. He had to have her, but he didn't want to have her. It seemed like an eternity away, but he sensed it would be a very significant weekend for them. He already was crazy about her. His feelings of admiration and affection for her would only grow more intense and wonderful. During his long drive home, James was able to text back and forth with Elena, and it was clear that they were extremely compatible and shared the same interest. They were the same in every way. You're supposed to learn how to love each other. There's no way at this you could be attracted to each other in the very beginning, but imagine when you guys learn how to love one another. Holy moly. It felt like talking to a long-distance best friend. When he arrived home, he searched the internet for anything about her, but there was nothing. She was a fascinating mystery that he wanted to spend the rest of eternity with. At the end of his drive, she suggested that they talk on the phone the next day. He was thrilled at the sound of hearing her voice again. He was falling more madly in love by the minute, second, by the moment when James heard her voice that Monday morning. The euphoria he had felt Saturday came rushing back strongly. They talked for 2 hours, but it seemed to be only minutes. He was obsessed with her and couldn't get enough during that first conversation with Elena. James realized she already had a strong understanding of many of the truths he had been taught regarding how the universe really worked. The lounge, fire, and obsession with each other had no real explanation unless they truly had a spiritual connection before this life. He was able to help clarify many if the promptings and impressions she had felt in recent years. She knew she had lived on Earth before, and James was ever able to clarify when they had been married before on this Earth and other times on a previous Earth. Their love truly spanned the universe and eons of time. They knew the Lord had brought them together again for a crucial mission that only they could accomplish as a united couple. So, just to give you a little bit of details of who this Lori, Vallow, Daybell, Cox, Ryan, Norene piece of crap is. So, Lori Daybell murdered the shit out of her own 2 kids, Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell, and Alex Cox. Lori, Alex, and Chad. Okay, so Lori, Alex, and Chad, that's all the people that you really need to know, because Chad Daybell and Lori Cox Vallow, they killed JJ and Ty Lee. They may have included Alex Cox somehow. Somehow Alex Cox could have been part of the conspiracy, but you got 5 dead bodies. So at first, JJ and Ty Lee are going to go missing, the 2 kids of fucking psycho, fucking Lori. They're going to go missing, and then they're going to find the 2 children in Chad Daybell's backyard. So, I mean, do you need any more evidence than that? You got 2 children buried in your backyard? Okay. I'll bite. Why? Why do you have 2 kids killed? And this is all in Idaho. What the hell is going on in Idaho? What's in the water in Idaho? So Chad's wife. So it's not just JJ and Ty Lee. JJ's 7 years old. Ty Lee's 16 years old. So they went ahead and killed, Lori's 2 kids. How or what? I don't know. But they were actually thinking that they were in Yellowstone. And then Alex Cox had gone to Yellowstone with them. So they thought that something might have happened at Yellowstone. But they were gone for about a year. But then they found their bodies in Chad Daybell's yard. Which, okay. So he did it, right? Chad Daybell did it. He's part of the burying it. He knows that it was buried there. So that's circumstantial evidence. That's not the smoke. It's not videotape of a smoking gun, but it's a pretty smoky gunny. I mean, it's pretty much, you got the remains of 2. Can you explain that? Why don't you explain to us why you have Ty Lee and JJ's remains in your fucking backyard, Chad Daybell? Hey, Lori Cox Vallow, why in the fuck does Chad Daybell have JJ and Ty Lee's remains in his backyard? Hey, Alex Cox. Oh, guess what's going to happen? Alex Cox is going to die too. So Alex Cox is going to kill Charles Vallow. Charles Vallow was a previous husband of this psycho doomsday cult fucking psycho goddamn piece of shit fucking Lori son of a bitch. That Lori, I swear to God, reminds me of every piece of shit bureaucratic pile of shit out here. It's like, goddamn, Tisha, you're not supposed to... Goddamn, Tisha, what's the matter with you? Tisha, you're not supposed to stab children in the damn, in the face. Tisha stabbed Gannon 18 times. Tisha, don't shoot children in the head. Hey, Tisha, don't pack children into suitcases and then chuck them over a bridge into a creek in Florida. Tisha, what the hell are you doing? This is Lori. Lori who? Who the fuck knows? Lori Cox, Lori Vallow, Lori Ryan. I think Vallow is what's going to stick, but ultimately she's married to a Vallow. She was married to a Ryan. She was born Norene Cox. So that would be her maiden name, but what was her mother's maiden name? She's not really Daybell, Ryan, or Vallow. She is totally Cox. She's half a Cox, and what's the other half? She's half a Cox, and then whatever her mother's maiden name was, so half something else. So we definitely know she's half Cox. So maybe we should always mention Lori Cox, right? So Lori Cox, she told her mother and her sister, you know me, the kids are safe. She lied right to her mother and her sister's face, and then they went and spread the lies for her. But Rexburg, Idaho. This all happens in Rexburg, Idaho. JJ and Tylee are going to get killed. JJ and Tylee. JJ is Joshua Jackson Vallow. And then Tylee is Tylee Ashlyn Ryan. So I guess they're two children from two different marriages. And then that Chad Daybell was married. That Chad Daybell, they're going to meet. This is Chad Daybell's writing this love story to Lori Cox Vallow. So they were basically having this romantic back and forth before all the, you know, the arrest. And I guess, I don't know. The timeline here. Okay, so there's 3 more bodies, right? It's not just JJ and Tylee, and rest in peace to, you know, Tylee Ryan, Tylee Ashlyn Ryan, and Joshua Jackson Vallow. No! No, Lori Cox. Lori Cox, do not murder Josh Jackson Vallow. No, Lori Cox, what the hell are you doing? You know, there is a Caucasian female who I saw commit, you know, about a dozen crimes, goes to the courthouse, looks at the DA, cries and acts like a fucking victim, and gets the DA to side with her. Because that's a stupid man, and clearly it must be the man's fault. That stupid man must have done some stupid man shit. It's interesting how these fucking Tisha Karen motherfuckers are. I told another Tisha Karen about, you know, the fucking... How come Tisha Karen doesn't stop Tisha Karen? I told one Tisha Karen about another Tisha Karen, and they got scared. What? She's committing crimes. Well, I don't know what to do about that. We can shit on men, but with each other, well, she's a woman too. She might be able to hit me back. I don't know what to do here. So it's okay for Tisha Karen to go around committing crimes because you don't know right from wrong and you can't stand up to her, and maybe you should acknowledge that, you know. Chad's wife, Tammy, is going to die. 49 years old. Tammy, she was murdered. Asphyxiation. Oops. They didn't want to do an autopsy. Why not do an autopsy for every 40... If you're under 70 years old and you die for some fucking reason, do an autopsy. 76 is the average lifespan. So 49, that's young. That's young. Well, she was coughing the night before. Well, the husband said she was coughing. Let's get the hell on out of here. Maybe you should have done a fucking autopsy right then and there. And then you got Joe Ryan had a heart attack. Died of a heart attack. And then Charles Vallow was killed by Alex Cox. Apparently he shot the shit out of him. And they made up the story about a bat and something about the kids were involved, and the kids come out with a bat, and then he grabs the bat and he hits Alex in the head with a bat. And I wonder if that had something to do with, because the kids were a witness to the damn thing. Maybe they had to get rid of the kids because there was a witness to this. That happened July 11th, 2019. Joe Ryan is going to have a heart attack 2018, April 3rd. So 2018, Joe Ryan killed. 2019, Charles Vallow killed. 2019, October, Tammy Daybell, Chad's wife, and the mother of 5 children. Chad Daybell and Tammy had 5 kids. 5 kids, still have 5 kids, but Chad Daybell's messing with this Lori Cox Vallow. And they've killed 5 people, at least. They've killed 5 people. And then guess what happens to Alex? Alex Cox. So actually 6 dead bodies. Oh my God, I forgot about Alex. Which, you know, he's involved in all the shit, but he was sitting there saying they're going to make him the fall guy. So they're going to kill him and make him the fall guy. That's what he was worried about. Alex Cox is going to get killed. When did he get killed? Alex Cox. When does Alex Cox get... He gets killed, and they said it was like an explosive heart attack. Which I don't understand. Like, how do people know so much about heart stuff? What did they do? Had asphyxiation. So I guess they strangled her to death. He was just worried, and his heart attacked. Like, so they strangled one. Alex Cox had tasered Ryan before. So Joseph Ryan Jr. had a heart attack. Alex Cox had tasered Ryan once before. They got in trouble with it. Had to go to court. Threatened to murder him or some shit. And then 5 weeks after Joseph Anthony Ryan Jr. had died, nobody claimed his body. But let's see. Melanie Drew, this Christian shit. Bunch of dumbass, brainwashed, wicked fucking morons. Oh, Jesus, and the clouds, and, yeah, the stars ain't the real stars. I don't know about that science and technology, but I'll make up dumb shit. She's very pretty. So if you're just a beautiful woman, you could just say and believe the dumbest of fucking shit, and nobody's going to say a goddamn word about it. So he had died of just, it sounded like his heart got, you know, kept beating crazy, like on crack, like he smoked too much crack or something. Not for sure where I wrote the thing down about Alex Cox, but that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just reading this. During the next week, they spoke every day for at least an hour, but often longer. They hungered to know everything about each other. The bond between them was intense, and only the vast distance between them kept their passion for each other from roaring into a blazing inferno. She quickly became his best friend, or better said, two best friends had reunited, and their prior love was now ignited again in a wonderful heavenly way. I mean, this is all beautiful and poetic and shit, but who the hell is like, oh no, yeah, we actually had 3 lives and on Venus. Yeah, me and you had 3 lifetimes on Venus. You was named Elena, my name was James. Huh. Are you being serious, bro? I mean, are you just being sweet and romantic? Or you like, I'm being dead serious. God, Jesus, you know. Jesus, God, Holy Ghost. I believe in the God, the Holy Ghost, the Trinity, all the things in the clouds. And he was extremely impressed with her intelligence, personality, subtle humor, made him laugh more than he had laughed in this lifetime. Oh, what a hoot. You are such a hoot. She was a complete delight to talk to, and the highlight of his day was when he could hear her magical voice, so familiar. It healed and soothed his heart and soul. They would both attend the same event mid-November. It seemed like that day would never arrive. Each day they opened their hearts to each other a little more. James knew he could trust her with the mysteries of the universe that had been revealed to him. He knew they'd been married before. They'd been close friends with the Savior when he lived in Jerusalem. Good old Jeebus. Good old Jeebus. I mean, the Romans created him to get all you fucking fools to stop believing Judaism. The New Testament, yeah, sure, there's a Jesus. Oh, and he was Jewish just like you are. Yeah, stop being Jewish. Be a Roman. No, join the Roman cult of Invictus. I mean, Sol Invictus. I mean, who is the fucking picture? Cicero? Lip shits. Cicero. Uh-oh. He knew they had been married before. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If he'd been there, if you'd just seen each day they opened their hearts to each other a little more. James knew he could trust her with the mysteries of the universe that had been revealed to him. He knew they had been married before and they had been close friends with the Savior. In Jerusalem, okay, psycho. You ever heard a woman say, oh, you gotta love the Lord if you want to love me? Who do you love, Jesus? I love Jesus. Do you? Sounds like you just kissed your daddy's ass and your daddy just kept on asking, who do you love? And you was like, Daddy, I love Jesus. Do you still love me, Daddy? Yeah, okay. James had served in an important position in the Lord's church. Elena had been his beloved spouse and best friend. That relationship was now meant to continue in this lifetime. God, this goes on and on and on. Do I want to keep reading all of it? No, I don't. Let's get to the end. James and Elena had enjoyed a walk together the previous morning. Exercise leggings drove him crazy. The leggings emphasized her perfectly sculpted bottom. It took all his willpower to not pull him to her and grasp that bottom firmly and powerfully with both arms and legs, both hands, while kissing her passionately. Nice tushy tush, you old tushy tush tush. At that moment, his only desire in life was to be with her, as always throughout eternity. Tears filled his eyes when he came across the holy goddess. the whole of goddess. They clung to each other, kissed desperately, hungrily. He is desperate. You are one desperate son of a bitch. Basically, he's like, wait a second. You're pretty? You're a Christian and you're pretty? Well, I'll say no more. Say no more. No, we're going to make our insanity work. Your insanity and my insanity, we're going to clash them, okay? Okay? That's the first thing we're going to do. And then after we clash them, let's just see where the chips fall where they may, you know? You know. You know you make me want to shout. Take the hand, little shout. Come on now, shout. I wrote the thing down where it said that folded him up like a taco, sent the devil straight to hell. Somebody got folded up like, I guess, Charles Vallow, or was it Joseph Ryan? Which one? One of these, apparently, she folded up like a taco because, well, she's a brainwashed, wicked piece of shit. And when she's a brainwashed, wicked piece of shit and somebody's, attracted to her and they're saying all this lovey-dovey shit, well, she's got some power. She's got some say-so. But then when they're not interested in her anymore, then she's got no power or say-so. And then all of a sudden, they got the devil in them. They were sitting there saying, Charles, they called him Ned. Oh, you mean Ned? Oh, Ned. Yeah, Ned. Well, you know Ned. Neddy, Ned, Ned, Ned. No, I don't know Neddy, Ned, Ned, Ned. Why do you keep telling me if I know Neddy, Ned, Ned, Ned? How can anyone know Neddy, Ned, Ned, Ned? Oh, here's another. All right, here we go. So Alex Cox was married to another woman, and actually he had adopted her name as his name, and then later on he thought he was going to be the fall guy. He thought that Chad and Lori was up to some shit. And then they said about JJ and Tylee, they said that they were possessed. And they thought that they'd become zombies. Zombies. This is Lori's own children that they're talking about. Zombies. Or maybe they don't give a shit about your fucking bullshit anymore, you lying motherfucker. You just keep lying and lying like a dumbass child. There's not an invisible man up in the clouds, you piece of shit. You can be religious, but if you ignore all of reality, all of fucking science, all of gravity, gravity is real, you piece of shit. There's no invisible man up in the clouds, you piece of shit. Gravity is more real than your bullshit God, you piece of shit. Lori Vallow was also taking Social Security. Oh my God, motherfucking Karens are so fucking... Yeah, make sure you get the Social Security money from JJ and Tylee. And where did they get... Because the fucking fathers died? So they got murdered. And that now she's getting Social Security fucking fraud because they're charged with 2 charges. Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Cox are charged with first-degree murder charges, right? For all the fucking murders. It should be 5 fucking first-degree murder, or 6, if you include Alex Cox, which you should. And then grand theft, because they, defrauded insurance companies, defrauded Social Security fucking... They stole taxpayer money from all of us. Fucking, that Karen, that Tisha Karen motherfucker that I was sitting there saying committed, a dozen crimes, just fucking harassment, bullshit crimes. Then goes to courthouse, freaked out that she's about to, pay the piper and that justice is about to be delivered. Acts a fucking fool. And apparently, well, one piece of shit can just talk to another piece of shit acting a fucking fool. Oh, well, you're a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. Well, we're all pieces of shit here. And then Brandon. I don't even know where the fuck Brandon is. Apparently Brandon got killed. Brandon just moved to the home, and then Lori was one of the few people who knew his address. So Brandon got fucking killed. Ned was Nick Schneider. Charles was also, they called Ned Schneider. Charles Vallow? No, Ned Schneider. Why are you calling him that? Because he's evil. He's got the devil in him. He's a little possessed. Who the fuck is Brandon? So, I mean, actually, I thought there were 6 dead bodies, but maybe there's 7 dead bodies. Now there's a fucking Brandon. Don't worry, all you Christians. She's a Mormon, too. The part of the fucking Morrisite Wars. Something about the Order of Enoch and the Hebrews 12:23. All of it sounds insane to me, but what I can understand is that the apocalypse is upon us, and the second coming of Christ is coming. And there's only 144,000 people that could be saved, and she's starting this little doomsday death cult, and she's picking 144,000 people that could be saved. Apparently her children wasn't good enough to be a part of 144,000. You had fucking room in your little rocket jet to heaven, Lori. You son of a bitch. Apparently, the Chad Daybell said he reincarnated she got reincarnated as the wife of Joseph Smith. So that's interesting, isn't it? There's a storage unit in Rexburg, Idaho. Rexburg, Idaho. That's where they found the dead bodies. That's where apparently she had an address in Arizona and in Hawaii. Man, these motherfuckers can go here, go there, go everywhere. I bet she had a bank account. I bet you, yeah, that motherfucker got a preliminary hearing. He did. Chad Daybell got a preliminary hearing. Lori Vallow Cox got a preliminary hearing. So they're preparing the people. They're preparing for the fucking elevation. Jesus is coming back. So we're preparing the people for the 144,000 apocalypse that's about to happen to us. And there's an exact date. So everybody hold on to the edge of your seat. So here we go. Okay, so the date of the apocalypse. Everybody write this down. Get your pens and papers out. Make sure you put this on your calendar. Make sure you write this date down. Because according to Lori Vallow Cox Daybell, and whoever her mother's maiden name is, she's definitely half Cox, right? Her father's a Cox. Her brother's a Cox. But who was her mother? Now, July 2nd, 2020. So the date of the apocalypse is going to be July 2nd, 2020. Mark that on your calendars. Wait a second. You're telling me it's 2023? Is it at least May 7th? Okay, so July is still in front of us, but that's still 2020. Oh, shit. So it didn't happen. So everybody was getting all excited, and it didn't happen. The same shit with the Morrisite Wars. He kept on saying that the apocalypse was going to come, and every time it didn't come, more people would just get their belongings and fucking skedaddle. So what did he die of, Alex Cock? Here's what he died of. Bilateral pulmonary thrombolysis with hypertensive cardiovascular disease. So he was all stressed the fuck out. He was stressed the fuck out, and then what? He smoked too much meth, smoked too much crack, and just stressed himself to death. She was a former beauty contestant. And she's a terrible mother. No, you don't know the three branches of government. You don't know the U.S. Constitution. The rules don't apply to you, right? You don't care about the rule of law because you think you get to go around committing crimes. Well, you're beautiful, right? So you're a beautiful woman. You can be a dumbest, fucking stupidest piece of shit spouting off the biggest, dumbest fucking crap nonsense, and we're all just supposed to go along with the old shit show of ignorance. Well, there's shit show of ignorance right there. Well, should we correct her and tell her that she's fucking wrong as shit and she's not making any fucking sense whatsoever? If we cared about her, we would. Yeah, but she might get mad and then she won't touch us no more. Well, we can't risk that. Saving her soul and saving the rest of the world from her fucking delusions. Can't fucking risk that. Last place they saw Tylee was at Yellowstone Park. They killed her at Yellowstone and then took the bodies to Chad Daybell's backyard. And almost, I feel, how stupid are these sons? But you went to Yellowstone, but then you. Lori Vallow, Social Security stolen, married to Norene. Ned, who's this Nick Schneider you keep talking about? It's almost like Tisha. Tisha's like, well, then you had old Bill Quinas. Bill Quinas, he came in and he raped me. And then he ran off. Gannon, I don't know where Gannon went, but I was being raped. You never, wait a second. Gannon's been missing for 2 months, and this is the first time you mentioned a rape. Well, I was scared. I got nervous. I didn't know I'm supposed to report crimes that I see. I didn't know. I'm not a lawful person. You're a victim of child abuse. You're just a piece of shit. Victim of fucking public education system. And then, of course, you're part of this society here that has no social safety net. So what am I saying? Why does she get to say stupid, insane shit? Well, she's beautiful. I mean, look how beautiful. And then actually she's not beautiful. I see a psycho. When I see, let's pull up. Do we have a picture of Lori Vallow? We'll pull a picture up of Lori Vallow coming up later. Just trust you me. She's a psycho. Okay? Trust you me. She's a psycho.